when you start thinking about the people and that live in the cities that are experiencing this kind of occupation, for lack of a better word, from the U.S. military, from ICE, from the National Guard. First off, I would just tell them, be strong, try to your best to be safe. I want to, personally, I think we should applaud and support the people who show up for other people, because I think empathy is what we're going to need to have in this environment of ruthlessness. But I would, obviously, I would just say, understand what you're doing, understand how to do it. I would probably tell them to look a little bit at not so much the 6 steps of Kingian nonviolence, but I would tell them to think about the 6 principles. Like, why are you out here doing it? What is your point of protest? What's your point of resistance? And I think that people should remember that part of nonviolent protest is you have to understand that you're standing in the face of tyranny, and that there's going to be a reaction to that, right? That the Kingian philosophy of protest is not that you anticipate this ability to protest and there be nothing that comes back. The Kingian philosophy is almost the opposite of that. You understand, I'm going to stand up in the face of tyranny, and that tyranny is going to push back on me. And when that pushback happens, it's probably going to be violent towards me. And the whole point of the nonviolent movement is to understand that that violence is going to be perpetuated against me, and I have to stay centered in my belief in nonviolence. Mostly because you have to understand that as you protest, the whole Kingian theory that was so effective during the civil rights movement was not just that it was safer for you in that moment, that other people are watching. And when those other people are watching, you want to make this clear distinction between who is the aggressor and who is the peaceful person. And so you almost use the tyranny's desire to be like this violent person against them. You say, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to say what's right, I'm going to say what's truthful, but I'm going to do that in a very nonviolent way. And then I'm going to be peaceful. And that they're going to bring all this violence to me. And to be honest, when people are watching this happen in real life, if you can hold yourself and not react, then you gain the moral high ground, and that's when you press the morality and the spirituality of your oppressor's actual supporters. And I know that's probably sounds crazy, but that's the crux of nonviolent direct action. And so when you're in those cities, when you look what's happening, like in Portland, you look at the pastor in Chicago. I think the pastor in Chicago is a great example because they caught it on camera where he was literally standing there and just unprovoked. They walk up and they pop him with pepper spray, a pepper bullet, might I add. The first place I heard that was from a conservative outlet. It was from a conservative person that says, wow, that's wrong. But the way he was able to do that is he was being peaceful. He was being nonviolent. And that is, for whatever its 2 cents is worth, just reminding people that, nonviolence is really not a space of pacifism. It's not this kind of weak space. It's really that I understand the strength that it takes for me to be peaceful in these violent situations. And the other thing I would just say is just be mindful that we live in a time right now where it feels like there are really powerful forces that are trying to provoke, and they want to seemingly provoke this angry response because they know of their ability to bring this overwhelming force and retribution. And the only thing that keeps that overwhelming force of retribution from happening is our ability as protesters, is our ability as advocates to stay nonviolent.